Fit 40 Radio, episode 000. Hey there, everybody. How's it going? My name is Brian, and on December 27th, I turned 40 years old. You know, it's taken a while to get here, but it's here. 20 years ago, however, I was sitting in the university student union building, and I thought to myself, 40 was like a lifetime away. People that were 40 were just super old back then. It was then when some guy, who you meet in a future episode, he planted a seed in my head that at 40, you're supposed to do something big. Mostly because he was training for something big, and as a 20-something, I thought that was pretty cool. Well, that seed sat there dormant for the next 20 years through life, breakups, new relationships, travels, a new job, new homes, a kid, and life continuing to intervene in the best laid plans at every chance it got. Now, that seed that had laid dormant there for 20 years suddenly realized it had two choices. It could wither and eventually rot with the rest of me, or it could make a break for it. It just needed a little bit of a push. So over the summer, it got that push. I participated in a 30-mile paddleboard event as a benefit for Christopher's Haven, a home away from home for children undergoing cancer treatment and their families. You might say I had some time to contemplate my direction after 40 while I stood on my paddleboard for 9 hours, making my way across Cape Cod Bay with 50 other paddlers. It was during this event that something clicked. Maybe for 40, I should do more events like this. Events that combine a sense of adventure, an element of risk that requires some specific training, and that promote physical fitness and in the end, ultimately benefit organizations that do really important work. The organizations could provide a place for kids with cancer or protect our natural lands or encourage people to be more active or work to eradicate disease or increase access to medical services or education. You get the idea. They do really important work that is really meaningful. This could be my big thing at 40. This could help make physical fitness more of a priority in my own life. I could learn how to better train as I age, and I could be inspired as I interview older people that have successfully found ways to stay active and competitive later in life. And I could do that all while benefiting some amazing organizations that do truly phenomenal work. So over the last few months, I've been developing the show idea and the core concept behind Fit 40 Radio. It's a podcast designed to inspire you to get moving, do some good, and find lifelong fitness. Now, over the next year, I'll be taking you with me, if you're willing, that is, to 40 events and races that will benefit 40 nonprofit organizations. We're going to train together. We're going to learn strategies to prepare for those events. We're going to talk about the equipment we're going to need. We're going to meet instructors and coaches. We're going to talk with other people just like you that were either just starting out or are getting back in shape, as well as the elite athletes at the top of their fields. I'll ask the questions of the experts that you might not have thought of or thought were just plain dumb. I'll look dumb for you. I'm not afraid. I've been looking dumb for 40 years now. It's going to be an amazing year, a very busy year, but I think at the end of it, we'll have done things that just a short time ago, we both thought were near impossible for us, that we thought other people were just born to do, or that there was no way on earth that we could ever do by ourselves. Whether that's run a 5K or run a marathon or ride a bike for 3 straight days or paddle across 30 miles of open water on a paddleboard. So my something big at 40 is really a collection of a lot of victories, small victories. The first small victory is the fact that you are listening to this right now. I mean, it has been quite a process just getting to this point and being able to record this episode. So if you want to come along with me, I'll ask you to do this. Just punch your ticket and subscribe to Fit 40 Radio right now. That's the best way to get all of my latest adventures, my training tips, and to learn about the organizations that I've chosen to profile that month. I'm hoping to release 3 episodes or so a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll produce a variety of shows. It's not going to be the same format every day. It's going to be mostly interview-based. But one might introduce you to an expert in the field that would also present actionable information that you could implement in your own training. Or I might introduce an everyday or elite athlete, somebody that I've met at one of the events that I want to profile. It may be a recap of an event that I just participated in, highlights and more interviews from that event, or I may focus on training for a specific event, some of the specific workouts that I'm doing. And lastly, I'll profile the organizations that I've chosen to introduce you to and the people that make it possible for those organizations to do the very important work that they do. I'm launching with this episode and 2 others, and may throw in a bonus here or there. And then we'll hopefully settle into a 3 per week rhythm. So what's my story? Well, thanks for asking. I'm sorry, I've been doing a lot of the talking here. I haven't given you a chance to really, ask questions here. But I'm not a personal trainer or currently any sort of elite athlete. I'm not a health coach, and I don't hold any advanced degrees in physical fitness. But what I do have is a keen sense of wanting to get more fit than I am right now. So 10 years ago, to give you a little backstory, I was in the best shape of my life. I was living in San Diego, training to compete in flatwater sprint kayaking. Now, flatwater sprint kayaking it's an Olympic discipline. The boats are long and pointy, they're really tippy, and you paddle them really fast in a straight line down a course that's separated by buoys. Picture like a 1,000-meter YMCA swimming pool with kayaks in each lane, and that's what a sprint kayaking race looks like. Now, hold on, I know what you're thinking. This guy is super fit, doing 40 events is going to be no problem for him. And he was probably born that way, probably like just a natural athlete. Well, no, I wasn't, and I didn't really excel at sports when I was a kid. I went through an awkward chubby phase in middle school. I would only run when I had to. I was 12 years old when I finally learned how to swim and took my first swimming lesson, and I hated it. My teacher at the time called me a manatee. That didn't really help with my fragile, chubby 12-year-old body image, but she later did say that it was because I was so comfortable on the bottom of the pool, which is good if you're into scuba, not so good if you're trying to learn how to swim. I played soccer pretty much throughout childhood until I got cut from the team in high school. I tried out for lacrosse, but soon realized on the first day that bigger people with big sticks were systematically going to try to kill me if I had the ball in my stick. Being slightly dyslexic and ambidextrous, baseball proved to be profoundly confusing. Every time I got up to the plate, which side do I stand on? Which hand goes on top? Which way do I swing? Am I left-handed? Am I right-handed? I had to watch the ball. I couldn't be afraid of it. It wouldn't hurt me. But guess what? It hurts a lot when you get the baseball square in your mouth. In the end, I got picked last a lot in gym class. So all of this was just baggage. It's nothing more. It's just baggage that we carry with us. But each day we choose to either pick it up or set it down and walk away from it. Truth be told, in 2008, after training for 6 years, I moved clear across country to work with coaches and other athletes, working several part-time jobs around my training and competition schedule. I was at the 2008 Olympic team trials. I felt ready to be on the line with the fastest paddlers in the country. However, I already knew that my fastest times were still at least 10 seconds slower than anyone in position to qualify for the Olympics. And in sprint kayaking, that is a huge amount of time. But anything can happen in competition. It's one thing I've learned. All the fast guys, for instance, could eat some bad breakfast burritos and miss the start of the race, or capsize just after the start, perhaps, or have a moment of clarity, maybe 50 meters before the finish, and they just stop paddling to take in its beauty. Anything that would give me enough time to catch up. Anything can happen in competition. It's not over till it's over. So, unfortunately, I missed qualifying for the A final. That's the guys that actually go to the Olympics. I missed qualifying by 1-2 seconds. 2 more paddle strokes, just a slight bit more power per stroke over the length of the course, just a little bit more effort. That's all I needed, 2 seconds. But here's what I learned from this success cleverly disguised as a failure. I learned that when you're trying to accomplish big goals, it takes 3 things. It takes personal drive. You have to want to be there. It takes discipline. You have to show up every day and put time in, and a team of people around you to challenge you and support you. I've also learned that through this whole experience, no one ever once said directly to me that I couldn't do it. No one ever told me that I was going to fail or choke, that I wouldn't make it. Those were just things I told myself from time to time when I was afraid of trying, when I was scared of putting myself out there, when I was afraid to get on the starting line. It wasn't other people holding me back from getting faster. It was me and the baggage that I packed from my childhood, growing up, not really fitting in on team sports, and ultimately not believing that I was an athlete. Going into each one of these 40 events over the next year, I will make a choice to either pick up that baggage or set it down and walk away towards a goal of lifelong fitness. If I'm going to pull this off, I really do need a team of people around me. So I hope you will join me and subscribe to Fit 40 Radio. And if you have a moment, pop over to Fit 40 Radio Facebook page and share your biggest fitness goal with me for the next year. Are there events that you've always wanted to do but have never put them on your calendar? Is there something that you'd like to learn about through this podcast? Jot me a note, send me a message on Facebook at Fit 40 Radio. So that's it. That's episode 000. Thanks for tuning in. It's time to get moving, do some good, and find lifelong fitness together with Fit 40 Radio.